to the US Challenger Series number 5, I believe. We're now getting underway very, very quickly, and it looks like we've got a very, very strong first game here for you. We've got the newly formed Dignitas UK, who used to be British Tea Time, have done some very dominant things in the previous tournaments, versus Peculiar Gaming, who have obviously also done extremely well previously. And I am Spuddington, and I'm going to be joined today by Broken Shot, who should be here.
Hey. Just before we go on, I'd like to mention that both these teams have actually scored first place in previous tournaments. So it's a really, really interesting first game of the day we got for you. We got two first place teams going up against each other. So unfortunately, not both of them can make it through, only one, but it's definitely going to be something we'll be looking at.
Yeah, well, obviously, I don't know if we have a very functional seeding system at the moment. Actually, I have no idea if we have any seeding or not, because I don't pay any attention to anything around me. Okay, so apparently our producer does it all himself. But anyway, we have got bands coming out now. Kazakh Zed, Thresh, Twisted Fate. It seems like the same sort of bands as the previous patch, Broken Shot. Do you feel like that the last patch changed anything, really?
Yeah, it did. It just changed. It didn't really necessarily change the champions that are banned. I mean, champions that get banned are banned for a reason that's not necessarily about their numbers. Usually, when we take a look at bans that come out, is because of the way the kit works. They did nerf Twisted Fate slightly, you know, they removed the cooldown reduction from his E and they increased the cooldown of his ult. But generally the same tactic kind of stays, where the TF is a global monster, he works around the map. And we actually see a Diana being picked up, and Diana was actually also one of the champions that got nerfed. However, it still remains of her kit, the amount of burst damage that you can do, the amount of instant initiate, and the amount of tankiness that you can get just by building Hourglass and Abyssal.
Yeah, I mean, her shield was changed so that instead of refreshing, it just stacks now, I believe. And although they nerfed the actual amount on the shield, do you feel like it kind of averages out to being roughly the same as it was? Because obviously you never got the full shield that
in the end,
usually.
It was a little bit of a nerf. In the end, it was a nerf in most situations except for one in which you're getting burst down the middle of the enemy team. In that situation, yeah, it's a buff, but everywhere else it's a nerf.
Alright, so making Diana's late game even scarier there, but we have now got the Varus and Lulu pickups. Is this something...
Actually, sorry, just to interrupt you. People were asking in chat, yeah, Impaler is actually J&T Taylor's new name. D. Taylor was actually taken, so he did name to Impaler. So yes, every single one of Dignitas right now are ex-British Tea Time. All of them moved on to Dignitas, just to make that absolutely clear.
Yeah, it's a nice lineup. I like those people, in fact, in general. And Yerostar is actually someone I've seen play support LeBlanc before. It would not be on the realms of the possible for him to run that. And in fact, I've seen him run it with Teleport Ignite as well, which is interesting to say the least. But like, do you feel like that's actually a viable setup normally, Broken
Well,
Shot?
I see the Varus Lulu pick, and that's a really, really strong bot lane potential. The amount of poke and the magic damage combination that comes in from Lulu and Varus is very, very strong to have in the bot lane. If they did end up picking LeBlanc, though, I'd be a little bit concerned for her ability to burst people outside of laning phase, or once Lulu actually hits level 6. Looks like they're going to go with Sona, which is actually a really, really good choice. Sona has her fair share of poke, and the advantage that she has over Lulu is the fact that she has sustain. I wouldn't be surprised to see a... what's his name? Smoky Lemon, pick up something like Ezreal or even Caitlyn just to counteract the poke that comes out of Varus Lulu. What I do expect to see out of team, yeah, there he goes, and he just goes and picks up the Jarvan pick, and because Jarvan actually was not nerfed in the last patch, which is a little bit surprising. He's one of the more dominant junglers at the moment, so having him open just pretty much says amazing. He's gonna just take him.
Well, I mean, I can always tease you for your claim that you would, I think, never lose, or something along those lines, if you're given your Jarvan jungle.
I never lose with Jarvan. I never lose with Jarvan.
Except when you did last tournament.
I never lose with Jarvan except for when I lose.
Fair, makes sense. That's some good logic. And yeah, obviously we have actually now got that Syndra pickup, which I think I've seen PG play before. I mean, do you see them do that a lot?
Not necessarily PG. There was another team in the tournament, My Revenge, who had a player called Fnatic, who's actually very well known to be a Syndra player, but I know Grulum around solo queue, and he also does play a fair share of Syndra, and I like Syndra. Syndra's a really strong champion. She's got really good disengage with her E. She's got good chase with her W, and of course the huge burst potential. She's a little bit harder to use, but against Diana, I think the lane matchup does go in Diana's favor because of all the instant engage. You know, you can QR her, and then the Syndra will instantly, you know, say, okay, get off my face, and use his E, and then you can just R back in, so Syndra's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. It depends on Gruulum. I expect defensive poke style coming out of him during the lane phase. And it's something that Cook actually has to worry about, the huge burst potential if enough fears get on the ground.
Yeah, obviously Syndra is pretty scary. I mean, late game, I'd say she's one of the kind of few burst characters that tends to remain very, very relevant. I mean, I don't know if that, you know, if you compare to someone like LeBlanc, obviously LeBlanc is famous for falling off, but even compared to someone like Annie, in terms of just straight up nuking someone out of the fight, I feel like Syndra does pretty well actually in that. I mean, would you agree on that?
I'd actually disagree with the statement that you just made that LeBlanc falls off. To be honest, I feel that LeBlanc does not fall off. I think she scales quite well. It's just that people don't necessarily know how to play her properly in team fights, where her job is to burst one down. They try to play a little bit like where they try to tunnel vision too hard on one champion. But Syndra does not necessarily have a problem falling off. You know, you get enough cooldown reduction, you get enough you know, mana regen so you can spam Q, and then you get enough AP that your balls start dealing huge damage, especially when you combo them with her ultimate.
Yeah, so she's a scary, scary character anyway, but yeah, we have now got some full lineups here, and like you predicted, we have got Dignitas UK picking up that Ezreal, so looking kind of like a classic poke comp there, and up against that, kind of a split push hard engage, would you say?
I feel that the comp that coming out of Dignitas is actually strong on multiple ends. They have poke coming in from 4 of 5 champions, and then they have hard engage and disengage all tied up into one really, really nice package. The only problem I see here is that if the lanes don't get ahead, if the Ezreal doesn't necessarily beat the Varus, or the Jace does not beat the Shen, or the Diana doesn't beat the Diana doesn't beat the Syndra, they're going to lack damage immensely. They're just going to lack a huge amount of damage, because when you pick up champions with with a lot of utility, like Ezreal and Jace, that's good that they have utility, but in response they have low base damages. So if they don't start, you know, wrecking lanes, they're going to fall behind, and team Peculiar Gaming are just going to get very, very tanky with that Jarvan and Shen in the front line.
Alright, so with all that said, we are going to be moving into a quick commercial break. Should be getting underway very, very shortly, and yeah, this is only game 1, so we are looking forward to how this goes, and yeah, 2 minutes of delay. See you then. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game one of this best of three. We have got Peculiar Gaming versus Dignitas UK. It's just getting underway now. I am Spuddington still, and I am still joined by Broken Shard.
Hello, what's up?
I made it sound as if my name was actually Spuddington still, but I just like to make sure that things are still continuing.
Stop trying to make jokes.
Still continuing. I don't know. Anyway, we have actually got both teams now kind of fanning out. We have got Firelox looking for that aggressive ward, and the same being true of Yerostar, who is actually not called Yerostar officially anymore. He is now called Yero. I'm going to be getting confused because Impaler was J&T Taylor, and they sound similar, but you know I'm not good at things. So you gave me a little bit of a prediction in the
Yeah, you did too, man.
In the loading screen.
So me and Spuddy here, we're talking a little bit about predictions. Spuddy, being the Englishman, felt that Dignitas would take the game. Well, not necessarily game, but the actual series. Is that right?
Well, I'd say I'd favor them. You can never say. I mean, they're definitely going to win. But
just do it anyway.
I mean, I like them basically. I like their chances. I feel they have a good comp this game as well. But you obviously you kind of felt pretty much the opposite.
I feel like PG are going to win this game and are going to win the entire series, either a 2-1 or a 2-0. I feel that PG's comp fits them so well. All the players are playing on champions that they're familiar with. You know, sort of likewise for Team British Tea Time. I've actually not seen Taylor play Sejuani ever, so this is actually something new. But when it comes to PG's champions, they're all comfortable and it fits their style. Like their player style fit it really well. You're definitely going to be looking at Amazing making some absolutely incredible plays right now, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he can really influence the lanes. Obviously, he has got that Jarvan, not the Lee Sin that I know he loves, and I know that you love him on, but obviously there's a lot of potential for making really aggressive ganks. So, kind of, do you feel they have a very similar playstyle, Lee Sin, early jungle, and J4?
I feel that the playstyle is similar, however, Jarvan is not necessarily glued to that early game. If you do end up playing a more farm-oriented conservative Jarvan, you scale still very well as a tank into late game. Just don't build damage on him if you're not getting fed. Of course, I'm sure Amazing knows that by now. But we see him, he actually takes his second buff, same with Impaler, but Impaler, really low HP and completely out of pots. He wants to try to help defend this turret. But look at how low he is. So Nitrix is going to basically be defending it himself, and that Peg is just going to sit around and watch him.
Yeah, I suppose Nitrix is fortunate, though, in that he is playing Jace here, who is fairly solid at just defending. And we did actually fail to mention that they had done this 2v1 swap up here. Yeah. We do see the bot lane from PG going to this top and vice versa. What's the particular reasoning behind that, you feel?
Well, I'm actually surprised that they did the swap, because at the moment, every time I see, whenever I'm playing pre-mates, every time a team's on purple side, I'm always ready to expect the swap. It's really because of those double golems. As a bot lane, you don't want to have to go up against another bot lane, especially something like Ezreal Sona that's so good with levels and poking. You don't want to have to go up against them when they have a level advantage, and likewise for the Varus Lulu. So they end up swapping, and you know they picked the Shen, who's actually quite good at swapping. And here's something really good. They picked Shen into Sona, and they picked an aggressive jungle like Jarvan. If Shen lands his taunt on Sona like he just now, he actually just flashes.
Whoa. Yeah, hold that thought. As you say, Yero is getting into a lot of trouble now. Has been ignited, is just going to go down. And actually at top lane, Nitrix was going very, very low. He was also in a fight while that was going on. And Impaler went low, was ignited in addition. And that's not looking good there for Dignitas.
Well, that was a really, really strong first play for Team PG. Forced the flash out of Sona and then capitalized on it extremely well. I was actually surprised to see that Sona did not have flash up. I'm not sure if she'd ended up flashing earlier than that. Yes, actually, she did get caught under the turret a couple of minutes earlier and had to burn flash, which is why Shen did a super aggressive flash play. So good job by Amazing and
yeah, keep an eye on this mid though. Cookmysok is in a lot of trouble now. Has got that shield going down though, so it might get him alive. Keep him alive while Amazing tanks the tower, and Grulum is actually completely out of mana and unable to do anything. We've got Impaler coming in from the side, but not really having the damage. Grulum tanking another tower shot though. That's looking quite dangerous for him, but Nitrix is obviously getting poked down in this top lane. He is getting very, very low, and he is now out of pots. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on what happens there.
The auto attack
is actually just going to recall.
Auto attack never came out from Amazing. If he had gotten that red buff on, the shield would have dropped, and then all that was needed was Grulum to hit one more time. Unfortunate turn of events. You know, he did burn the flash out of Cookmysok, but that was pretty much a secure kill that slipped ever so slightly away. But take a look at top lane. They already got this tower down, so the swap, you know, already with that first blood that they got on bot lane was already a good swap for them. But now they pick up the turret on top of that. They're 1,400 gold ahead, only 5 minutes into the game. This is looking really, really good right now for Team Coolier.
Obviously, they are coming out very, very strong in this early game. It's going to be interesting to see, actually, whether they can kind of get anything from that. I mean, at the moment, they are obviously high enough level that Dragon is going to become an issue if Jace tries to freeze that lane. So it's going to be interesting to see how they will maneuver now, because they have to make something happen. They can't have Jace, you know, Nitrix going out really overextended in that top lane to just farm. If obviously Jarvan could appear at any time, he wouldn't have a tower to retreat to. That's obviously very, very dangerous. So what do you feel is going to be Jace's move? I mean, he is obviously right now pushing it out, but what do you feel is going to be his objective in the long term? Because I very much doubt he's going to stay there long.
Well, take a look at Shen. Shen is really, really close to level 6 right now, and so he's going to be wanting to go to this top lane and kind of start his split push. It is only 6 minutes into the game. It's a little bit early, but it's actually good for them because the Shen, relative to Jace, can now still hold his own against Jace. Jace does not have items. So if he joins a team fight, you know, as a Shen, you pack the CC, where Jace, you don't really bring too much aside from raw damage, a little bit of utility to the table. So if JWoww ends up going, there he goes Shen 6. So if JWoww ends up going top to do this split push, his...
I've got Cookmysok jumping over the wall to race on Amazing, but now Grulum is coming in. We've got the stand united as well. Cookmysok in a very awkward spot here. He's going to have to try and get out here. He's been stunned. He has not actually got the taunt down though. Jace did stop the stand united teleport, but don't think it's going to matter. Impaler now in a very awkward spot. He is getting attacked, but he is looking to just get out. No huge problems for him, but Cookmysok jumps in and actually ends up just getting destroyed.
That was interesting. The Shen ult did get interrupted, but Cook ended up still dying, and that's going to open up a dragon right there and there for Peculiar Gaming. Now, as I said, the Shen is going to be able to hold his own against the Jace, so if Jace decides to start going down for those team fights, Shen is going to get free farm, Shen is going to get experience over him. Now, and if Jace tries to stay top, Shen is going to be able to give, at the very, very least, a shield for about, at the moment, it's like, what, 250 damage shield, whereas Jace is not going to be able to really supply anything. So I personally feel that they should send Cookmysok top with his teleport, because Cookmysok is going to do just fine against Nitrix, against JWoww, and that's the Diana that gets
actually,
fed.
we've got Nitrix in a bit of trouble up top, but sorry, carry on with your thought. He's actually not going to be in any trouble at all.
He's getting taunted and getting burst down because he's really squishy at the moment, but Diana's going to do just fine versus the Shen, and then they send the Jace to mid lane so he can push the lane and start roaming side lanes and trying to, you know, poke and help them out there. I think that would be their best move right now.
Right, so if we do see that happening, the problem I suspect for sending Diana up to that top lane at the moment is obviously that teleport is on quite a lot of cooldown left. Do you expect that you'll see them do that once that teleport is available? Do you think that was their plan, taking Diana with that teleport in the first place?
I felt that their plan was to put Diana in the mid lane and try to extend the lane phase. However, Peculiar might have seen that and said, okay, let's try to end lane phase as quickly as possible, which is kind of what they're doing. You know, they said they did the 2v1 swap, they pushed the tower incredibly early, and so now this teleport of Diana is relatively useless unless she starts doing the split push versus Shen. I would hope that Dignitas would do that, however, it's not necessarily something you've heard of, sending a Diana top versus a Shen, so it might not actually happen.
Well, the interesting thing though is that if Shen has gone for that, you know, that typical split push Sunfire cape, that's going to make him actually a little bit vulnerable to Cook My Sock, but Cook My Sock himself is in potentially a lot of trouble. Has gone with the Lunar Rush, has been stunned. Cook My Sock in a lot of trouble, but the Moonfall actually pulls in amazing. He just flashes out though,
Wow.
and now Nitrix is stuck in the awkward situation of being inside Cataclysm. No way he can follow it up, and Shen is in shoving that top.
What a beast. That was such a swag play right there. He got out just before Nitrix was able to land that to the skies on him, and Amazing pretty much walks out unscathed. So if Nitrix did land that to the skies, I would have expected immediate turnaround.
Oh,
flash.
speaking of Nitrix, he's actually not going to face check it though. He backs out.
He smelt it.
Yeah. Suddenly realized at the last second that was probably going to end up with him dead.
He's like, wait a second, none of that was absolutely hilarious. He walked up, he's like, wait a second, nope, turn around.
Either that, maybe it was all planned and it was an elaborate bait, but I very much doubt that. So yeah, obviously now Nitrix does have a bit of a wave in this top lane. He's just going to clear that out, and looks like we're going to go back to farming mostly. We have got Smoky Lemon pushing mid.
That was just a little bit of a scary situation. You were talking about the Sunfire cape, and 10 minutes into the game, it's now completed on JWoww. He doesn't have boots, but he's on fire, and that's all about what being a ninja is about.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's gonna help his split push immensely, and you know we talked a little bit about how Nitrix is really squishy.
Oh, we've actually got the ult going in on that mid. Grulum getting bursted down very low. We have actually got Amazing coming in, but not able to get anything done as a result. Carry on with your thought. Just a very sharp engage there.
How funny is it that people keep telling me I sound like Skara and we're casting the Dignitas game? Would be it's just a funny situation. But that Grulum got burst. Yeah, a different dig, but they're still both the D. You know?
Okay, well we have actually got Amazing getting aggressive now. Yero start getting taken down quite low from that red buff. We have got the Cataclysm on Smoky Lemon, but he's obviously got Arcane Shift, so it's obviously some kind of ploy on Yero. It's the slowest kill ever known to man. We have now got the flash from Yero, but it's actually not going to be enough. The kill there going down on JWoww. Cook My Sock coming in from the side, but not able to do anything. Feels like Dignitas UK are in a bit of a mess at the moment.
That was a little bit of interesting. Eurostar was definitely waiting for the last possible second to have the flash, but by the time he did that, JWoww came and said, nope, ignite.
Oh, Smoky Lemon getting taunted. We got Amazing going in on top, and he's just insta-kill.
That's really good coordination. I mean, just the second as the taunt went down, everyone knew what they had to do. They were all actually moving before the taunt actually was released by JWoww, but that was actually really good now for Peculiar Gaming. They're 5k gold ahead. They ended up, I think, losing just Grulum earlier, and then they picked up 1, 2, 3 kills and a turret. So setting them very high in the lead, and the Drake should respawn. Yeah, Drake is expected in about a minute and a half, so I'm definitely going to be looking for Peculiar Gaming to start mobilizing towards that, and definitely taking a fight there.
Yeah, I think they obviously have the advantage at the moment. They've got a very solid gold lead at the moment. I mean, looking at the kills across the board, every lane basically has come out worse. As you, I think, predicted, we have got the Ezreal, obviously, behind on CS, behind on the kills. Sona, obviously, has died twice for little gain. Lulu never having died herself. Impaler actually in that mid lane, not going to be in any serious trouble. And Ezreal forced to blow his ultimate to try and clear bot, but I think he actually may have missed the wave there. He's going to have to move down there anyway to catch the rest of those creeps.
Poor Smoky Lemon.
Poor Smoky Lemon indeed. It's one of those awkward moments as an Ezreal where you're like, I'm going to clear that way. Oh,
no, I'm not.
No, yeah, well, I hope no one was watching, but...
Yeah, well, we all were. But Nitrix trying to push down this top lane turret. JWoww comes in to stop him. Has a long sword. I think that's probably going to be built into either a Blade of the Ruined King. It's not something we see often, but it, you know, does work on Shen. Or a Trinity Force, which seems to be the most logical thing to build, because since they already have a tank like Jarvan to initiate, what Shen wants to do is he wants to pop in right on the Jarvan who's going to be in the back line, and after all that burst goes down on Jarvan and the shield, Shen's going to be able to start bursting down their carries with that Trinity Force.
Yeah, and you can see Peculiar Gaming have got a very thoroughly warded dragon now. They've got control over the majority of this area, and obviously Shen is kind of moving towards this bottom lane. Stan United is not up, so I think he wants to be around in case it becomes important. Nitrix was looking to kind of, I think, bluff out Amazing, and Phylox there wasn't perhaps aware they were there. He does have that Shock Blast available if he wants to check something. We have got the dragon spawning. There is a ward over that wall. Grulum clears it out. They have got that pink in the area. Looks like Shen is going to be taking blue buff, and I don't think that Dig UK know where that is. So they may, if they see Shen, they may go for this, but
they have no idea where this ninja is right here. Even though he's on fire, He's got Boots 1. He is still as sneaky as a Teemo.
Yeah,
Picks up that blue buff for free, and that's actually going to be really nice if he's able to use his ult while that blue buff is on. That's a lot of cooldown reduction. Will help his CD a lot.
Yeah, and you have to say now Shen is actually returning to that top lane, so Dignitas UK are now aware of what he's done. They're going to move straight for that dragon, but Stan United is going to be coming up any second, so this could actually be playing right into Peculiar Gaming's hands. They have obviously not got the vision at the moment. They're going to burst this down very, very quickly, but Amazing is coming in. He has gotten the flag and drag. Does not actually pick up the dragon, though. Cataclysm comes in. We've got the crescendo going across. Only Phylox, actually. Nitrix gets bursted down very, very hard. Matroco is putting down the damage. Yarrow goes down. Smoky Lemon's going to be trying to get out. Is actually able to get out with the Arcane Shift, but it does look to me like that was a thoroughly lost fight. And Jarvan comes over the wall. Actually, Smoky Lemon now in trouble getting taunted. And it's going to go down to Grulum.
There we go. That is a clean sweep right there for Team Peculiar Gaming. That is a 5-for-0 exchange plus a Drake. That was absolute brilliant placement by Amazing. He ulted it onto 3 targets. One of them actually being the Sejuani, who dropped down so quickly as soon as the Shen came in. Cook My Sock in a bad spot actually had to go right into the back line. He couldn't go anywhere else. And since he was the only one in range of Grulum, Grulum turned his attention right to him. So that's going to be... Yeah, that's actually going to be 1, 2, 3... Was that 3 turrets going down plus a Drake? Or was that only 2?
Oh.
2 turrets plus a Drake. 2 turrets plus a Drake.
2 turrets, a Drake, and an ace. Not a bad fight. Not a bad fight. And
no, but
yeah,
it's a pretty good lead. It's a pretty good
lead. It's getting into the point of kind of FF20, to be honest. Not quite actually that bad at this point, but it's looking very, very bad for Dig UK, and they're going to have to pull something out if they want this. How do you feel they need to play at this point in order to, you know, best maximize their chances of coming back into this?
You know, I'm all for being optimistic. However, as a caster, I always have to say that there is going to be a chance for it to come back. However, when you take a look at the team comp that Dignitas have put together...
Actually, we got Cook My Sock getting aggressive on Grulum. We have got the Arctic Assault coming in. Zonya's actually popped there by Grulum. Very early pickup by him, and very nicely done too. That's going to make him a lot less easy to pin down for Cook My Sock. And we have seen Nitrix taking out that top tower. Do you feel like the only real hope for Dignitas UK then is if Peculiar Gaming just make mistakes?
Seems that I've been mistaken, and the Drake actually still went to, Engage coming in on the
actually we got the Chain of Corruption coming in. Impaler now trapped under the tower. He's going to have to flash out of there. And now Amazing does get ulted by that Sejuani, but it does look like they're not going to be able to make anything happen. No kills there, but obviously a little bit awkward because it was a 3-on-5 situation. Dignitas UK came out behind, I feel, obviously burning that flash and taking quite a lot of damage to boot.
Yeah, so JWoww picks up a Vamp Scepter and a Warden's Mail, but Aka was saying earlier, you know, as a caster, you always got to try to be optimistic, but the thing about Dignitas' team comp is that they have some late game with Diana and Jace, but you can't really compare it to the strong front line that's coming out of Team Peculiar right now. I feel that they had a comp that would pretty much do well in the early mid game, and if they got ahead would carry them to late game, but since that actually never happened for them, I feel that their comp pretty much is going to lose them the game. PG just have better picks for this type of game right now, for what's going on at this moment, 8k gold ahead, PG have better picks.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult for them to cope with that Shen split push. It's going to be difficult to prevent those hard engages, and obviously the poke isn't going to be as significant as they would like either. Question is, so at this point, are you saying that, you know, even if PG make, you know, tons of mistakes, even if, you know, they get people caught out and actually potentially Matrix getting burned down,
I'm talking about a perfect world situation where PG play the team comp properly and all the way from now until the end of the game. If they make a series of mistakes, yeah, of course, any team can come back if the enemy team just deliberately throws it. But I just don't feel that's going to be possible right now. They need to make more than just one epic mistake for them to actually win the game.
Alright, so do you feel like Cook My Sock can duel Moltros at the moment? I mean, it's an odd situation to ask that of the mid lane Diana versus the bot lane Varus, but do you feel like he could actually 1v1 of them? I mean, there's a huge level disparity.
No, I feel that Cook My Sock is probably going to even have a hard time 1v1ing the Lulu. That's pretty much how behind they are right now. Also, Lulu too strong.
Yeah, well, obviously, squirreling is a very, very brutal tactic. And at the moment, it does feel like Dignitas are just going to very much stall this out. And obviously, that does put them at a lot of risk. Obviously, Phylox with that Oracle's obviously looking for that Baron buff and going to be stealing away this blue as well. Do you feel like PG are just going to end this after a forced Baron? Or do you think they're going to go for some kind of dive approach? Going to be going for an aggressive dive on that Dignitas line. We have actually got Amazing hanging around the corner. Smoky Lemon could potentially be caught here. They have got wards. And Amazing is coming around the side. We have got the flag and drag going down. Yarrow forced to flash and actually gets Amazing on top of his face. They're going for the dive here. Crescendo goes down. Not going to be enough. We've got the teleport coming in on the tower, but I don't think it's going to be enough when Cookmyself comes in. In fact, I think he may have just cancelled it. Smoky Lemon actually now just gets gibbed as well. And it does feel at the moment like Peculiar Gaming are just rolling through at the moment. And we haven't even hit 20 minutes. So do you think we'll see a surrender?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I see a surrender. They're pretty much 10k gold ahead. Of course, British Tea Time's Dignitas, sorry, I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure they can feel the source of helplessness when they've just gotten dived, and pretty much the support got focused down, and they still ended up losing that team fight. Good taunt from JWoww, actually landed on 2 people, so he got a lot of energy back from that. But at this point, you know, again, I just don't see any real...
Actually, in top lane, Cookmyself getting stunned out by Grulin, but actually, the Zonius goes down, and we've got the Ignite. We are looking for the damage. Cookmyself narrowly dodges an arrow to the face, but he's actually going to take the kill, and does get killed in return. But honestly, the best to hope. That was kind of the best situation for him.
Yep, I'm waiting for someone to write worth in all chat so we can decide who actually is more worth it for him. Since no one writes it, Fury Gold, that was more worth for Cookmyself. He ended up actually getting more out of that.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty difficult. It does seem at the moment, though, like PG are just going to be able to dive almost any turret at this point. So when would you expect to see them going aggressive?
I was gonna say earlier how I was never really a big fan of the dives because of the amount of AoE CC that's coming out. They have the Sejuani ult, the Sona ult, and the Diana E, but at this point, the Shen and the Jarvan are both so tanky that they can tank the turret for extended periods of time. And at this point, fights aren't going to be extended. They're going to be all in bursts because of how squishy Team Dignitas are right now compared to Peculiar.
Yeah, we have now got that Muramana pickup on that JCs. May have had that for a little while. We've also got the Last Whisper coming out soon. He may start to do a bit of damage to these tanks. Obviously, going to still be very, very difficult for him. Obviously, that gold difference is probably least significant, actually. Jace doing probably the most damage on his team, would you say?
Not sure, actually. It really depends on what's going on now, because look at the poke coming in from Nitrix. He still pokes quite well. Only problem is now they've got nothing to answer for Shen split push, so just poking is not going to be enough. Especially since Maturoko just eats it like it's hotcakes on a sunny day.
Yeah, Gurulam actually is waiting around the side. It does look like they've warded that out though, so gonna have to go and react to that Shen. As you say, they don't really have an answer to it at the moment, but they could probably at least force him to back off from the tower if they went aggressive on him now. Nitrix looks like he's just gonna put down some poke and then head on out there, but Shen is doing quite a bit of damage.
Towards the enemy team at this point because of how tanky he is. 177 CS, 1-0 and 12. He's so tanky. He's actually going for the Blade of the Ruined King. Really, really interesting anti-champion type of build there. He's going to be able to one-shot, well, not necessarily one-shot, but first down carries extremely well with that Ignite as well.
Yeah, and actually it does look like Nitrix is in a lot of trouble now. Amazing is coming around the side. Nitrix kind of knows he's dead here, I suspect. He's going to be trying to run. He has actually got the flash down. Acceleration goes. He's actually maybe able to get out, but he is going to be forced to recall, and that means it's a 5-on-4 at best at this tower. Stun goes down on Smoky Lemon, and actually Gruelam puts down the burst. Smoky Lemon insta-destroyed, and now it's another 4-on-5 state, and I don't feel like Dignitas can hold this tower at all.
Yeah, they're just going to go down, they're going to pick up this inhibitor. Once this inhibitor goes down, I feel that's going to be game, because they're not only going to have to deal with a split push from Shen, but they're going to have to deal with the big minions coming down the lane. Big minions, what is wrong with these super minions coming down the lane?
They're just larger than average. They're just big boned. But we have actually got Cookmyself looking to maybe make something happen here. You never know. Maybe a desperation ploy, but looks like Dig is just going to go with the strategy of trying to farm up and trying to get these lanes pushed out to reduce the pressure. But yeah, like you say, going to be very, very hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Baron Nashor is going to be the contested target. You know, even though that top lane hit did go down, I'm pretty sure we're going to see... Uh-oh, Troko just getting jumped on right there by Cook My Sock.
Oh boy, he is actually now getting bound down there. Cook might start getting aggressive on Amazing. We have got the Shock Blast coming in, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anything. Motroko may have to run here, though. Oh, we have got Impaler landing the slow from that, and I think he should be able to get him in a second. We have got Shen now coming in, and they're actually going to have to back out. Nitrix does actually land the Shock Blast, which gave him vision, I think, of Amazing. Able to jump over the wall, but now Grulum is going to be here. He does have the burst, and we actually have the prediction of that by Yero. The exhaust went down, but now the Zonius is going to keep them off. They're going to have to run here. They've got the stun down. Yero gets blown up. Amazing looks for this kill, but I don't think it's going to happen. We have also got Phylox on the side here. Not going to be able to make anything happen. It looks like Dignitas are just playing ham now. They know they have no chance if they continue to play it defensive, so maybe actually not go for it, but I think they were maybe looking for, the mistake from Peculiar Gaming, which didn't actually end up happening.
Yeah, that was a good aggression coming in from Dignitas, but in the end it backfired in their face since that Syndra just said, "No, Sona, you're gonna die," and ended up one-shotting her with that insanely powerful Unleashed Power ultimate. Picks up Iliander's Torment. That's pretty good for kiting on Syndra. It applies the Magic Fan, especially helps for nuking down. Grulum actually going for a really defensive build. He's scared that he's going to get jumped on, and I actually agree with this build because if they just build tanky, the kind of low damage team, especially since they're so behind, of British Tea Time, Dignitas is not going to really scratch that Syndra.
Yeah, so do you feel like at this point the reverse is kind of true of Dignitas, that they have to build full squishy, full damage, because otherwise they're just not going to scratch them?
I'm just a little bit curious to see what now the team, particularly what they're going to do. They're 10k goal ahead. They definitely can feel that they're in such a huge advantage. Are they going to try to do Nash, the game-throwing move that we see happening all over the place, or are they going to just go for a safer push? They seem to be a very tactical team, actually, so I'd expect them to go for a push rather than a Nash.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would predict as well. They just don't have any real reason to force Baron. They've proven that they're quite capable of pressuring at towers, and Nitrix actually now getting blown up very, very hard by Grulum. Just suddenly coming out of nowhere with that stun. Follow up with the Q and the R. That's just an easy kill, and we still have the Shen split push. But it's not even really that important because they're just pressuring down the mid. 4-on-4 wouldn't be anything to worry about for them. Obviously, Stan United not available at the moment, but I don't think Dignitas either know that or feel they can win anyway, so they're just going to get pressured in, and we are seeing some pressure now on this bottom tower as well. JWoww and Matroko putting down the damage. It's going to go down pretty quickly. He obviously does have 2.5 items at this point, and now a third inhib falling. Huge goal difference, and Dignitas UK in one heck of dire straits. They are looking for maybe something here, but at this point, it's kind of giggles time, and we have actually got Cook My Sock potentially going to be getting, you never know. We might see a fight at the end here. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if we did. But this tower is going to be pressured. We have actually got the ultimate now. Phylox is going to get bursted. It looks like the strategy is kill Phylox at all costs here. They are not going to be able to do it, though. Nitrix goes down. Impaler goes... he's still alive. No, he's not. There we go. Yero getting low. Obviously getting blown up too. And Smoky Lemon maybe looking to stay alive, but gets destroyed. And now we have the Nexus going in. And the GG well played.
Well, that was more of a last-stand attempt coming out of Dignitas, and it did not work. 2-23, 15k gold lead for Peculiar Gaming. And I hate to be the kind of guy, but I told you so.
Well, obviously, one game is not a series make.
We see comebacks coming, but I feel that Peculiar Gaming won the game off picks and the way they played the picks. They forced Dignitas into a situation where their comp was going to be weaker, and that's going to be an delayed laning phase, where the lane phase ends a lot quicker than normal. So in the end, Dignitas got pulled out of a situation where they're not going to be comfortable, especially with their picks, and forced into early fights where Peculiar Gamer are actually going to be stronger. And from pretty much there, from that dragon fight that we saw, actually even before the dragon fight, that mid fight where they got the turret was the turning point in my opinion. That's when the tanks got so tanky and they were just not being able to be killed anymore in team fights.